Hey everybody, we're back for another episode of Riots 2020 Part 2. This is from May 30th, 2020, Saturday night. Grand Rapids, Michigan. As you can see, things are heating up. No pun intended. And this clip right here is from Nashville, Tennessee. Now, I have to admit, this doesn't really show much other than what might be immediately obvious. I do find it most noteworthy that somebody is riding a scooter in 2020. Current year is one interesting year, that's for sure. And yeah, Nashville, Tennessee. As you can see, the police are keeping everything protected. To protect and serve. To investigate whether crimes have been committed. Well, it looks like, I'm not a detective, but it looks like some crimes have been committed. We'll see how this turns out for us. In this clip here, you'll see a car coming through very quickly, moving from the oncoming lane, into the oncoming lane. Pretty wild stuff. This upcoming clip is from Denver, Colorado. Similar premise, a vehicle deciding, I'm not going to wait for the protesters. I remember what happened to Reginald Denny. I've seen the pictures. I don't want to be that guy. But these protesters, every time a car decides to just belt on through them, they seem so outraged. Like, what are you doing? You can't do that. I'm standing right here. I'm walking here. Something like that. This is in Washington, D.C. This Apple store is preventing all of these people from appreciating the qualities of life that they deserve, right? This isn't fair. Apple has disenfranchised these people for too long, and they just needed to take matters into their own hands. They want that MacBook, bro. And they're not going to work a job to get it either. Not when they can get it for free. I mean, why would they? And this is in Ogden, Utah. This is a power plant that is about to erupt. Now, the story is that it was a natural fire that led to all of this. But what are the chances? Really, what are the chances of that? The timing is just too suspect. I think it's fairly obvious what caused it. And this is in Portland, Oregon. A man with an American flag getting accosted. Oh man, look at that exchange of peace and tolerance and bravery. What a good guy. What a good guy he is. And this man, as he's getting stomped on by about 10 people who were very brave, standing up for what's right, manages to hang on to the American flag. Now this is somewhere in Minnesota. As the police are marching down the street, there are people filming them from their porch, and the police officers, or one of them rather, decides to start firing into their private property pepper balls. Firing rounds into somebody's house. This next clip here, we can see some people in Salt Lake City. And as you can see, this police officer, not a big fan of boomers. Not a fan of boomers at all. In fact, it throws him right to the ground. Doesn't even help him back up either. One of his co-workers had to do it for him. Peak optics, folks. Peak optics. Well, it looked like he went over and helped him back up after realizing how much of a complete jerk he looked like. And this is from somewhere in New York. This will have I believe a few different camera angles of the same incident. Maybe they're separate instances. It's hard to tell for sure. But as they're throwing bricks at people and vehicles, when the vehicle decides they're not having any more of it and starts barreling through the crowd, they just act so surprised, like they really didn't expect that. How dare you, sir? As they're directly intimidating people and putting people in fear of their lives. And I'm not even saying that in jest. If you're throwing bricks at people, and they have a vehicle, you should expect them to plow through you. Period. And I did turn down the audio on these clips quite a bit. The balancing of the volume is a bit difficult in this mobile video app. As they jump in front of the vehicles like a reverse Frogger. It's really something else. It's really something else. And then they proceed forward as if nothing ever happened. This is also somewhere else in New York, as they're flipping a police van. I don't know, I heard there was free candy in there. That's the only reason they're shaking it around. Free candy, but alas, no candy ever came out. But they keep on shaking it just in case, just to make sure. And in this final video here, this fine gentleman is telling these white people that they need to lay down on the ground with their hands behind their back, as he, you know, maybe he'll chuck a brick at their body as they're laying down, maybe he won't, but they need to pay what they owe. Yes, and like the little submissive rats that they are, they actually go and do it. But see, this is what, when they say pay what we owe, we need to check our privilege. This is what they're talking about. Submit. Submit. I don't think I will, sir. I'll take the brick, sir.